Hey everyone, Ed Graney, sports columnist from the Review-Journal here. Well, another day, another Raiders major move. Amari Cooper, the wide receiver, once thought, or at least told to us by John Gruden as a main source of what the offense would be, shipped to Dallas yesterday for a first-round pick. Look, this is what it's come to. John Gruden was hired by Mark Davis, and John Gruden obviously came to this team, looked at the roster, and did not believe it was competitive enough to compete at a high level in the NFL. That is what has been happening the last several months in terms of the dismantling of this roster. Cooper just becomes the next fall guy in the fire sale to be moved. Khalil Mack came before him. If I'm safety Carl Joseph right now, my bags are probably packed before the trade deadline of October 30th. Again, I think what Raider fans have to understand out there is John Gruden's in charge. He is the coach. He is the general manager. He's making all the decisions. So at one sense, Raider fans can be mad and upset and bitter about this. But on the other sense, there's not much use to have those kind of emotions. John Gruden's going to be here. He's going to be the coach the next few years. He's going to be the coach when they get to Las Vegas. So at this point, in his mind, the best way to rebuild this team is through the draft. He has 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years. Yesterday, he got another one for Cooper. So coming up in the 2019 draft in Nashville next April, the Raiders will have 3 first-round picks. Theirs, the Cowboys, and the Bears. And if you look at where those teams are in the standings right now, you might surmise that the Raiders could have 3 of the top 15 picks. If Gruden can hit those, if he can hit the first-rounders a year from now you're talking about trying to build in the realm of a Bill Belichick in New England, of an Andy Reid in Kansas City. That's how those guys built their teams. And I think that's what John Gruden is hoping he can do with the Raiders. John Gruden's long-term vision is not just to be good. He wants to be great. He wants to be in the playoffs. He wants to try to win a Super Bowl and cement his legacy, whatever people think that is, in the end, of him as a head coach in the NFL. So again, Amari Cooper is gone. I think Carl Joseph as a safety might be the next. We know Khalil Mack's gone. The key now right now becomes actually Derek Carr, the quarterback. Read Michael Gelkin in the Review-Journal each day. He's a great beat writer for us, and he updates every story immediately on Twitter. One of his tweets went national yesterday about Cooper. But I think now a situation comes with Derek Carr. They're going to have to make a decision financially. Derek Carr is owed about $19.34 million a year with his contract on if Derek Carr is the quarterback of their future next year and then when they get to Vegas. It's my feeling, I think it's Michael's feeling, that they will stick with Derek Carr. But that's something to look for. Reggie McKenzie, the GM in title only, as I call him. I like Reggie, but it's obvious John Gruden's making decisions. Said there's no one untouchable on this team. I would probably argue they're going to take a long look before Derek Carr would become a guy that they would seriously put out there. Also, perhaps Rodney Hudson is a center who's a terrific player. Maybe you look at Rodney as a guy who could stay. But when they come to Vegas in 2 years, you could literally see from this moment till now a turnover of 35 to 40 players, which is an amazing number when you think about it in today's NFL. You don't get a lot of rebuilds of this magnitude in 2018 NFL. People want to win too fast. People care about their jobs too much. They want to win now. So when you see what the Raiders are doing, it's absolutely something that doesn't happen across this league. But that's what's happening. John Gruden was given a 10-year contract, and now he is making these decisions to obliterate, for the most part, this roster because he doesn't think it's competitive enough to win at a high level and bring in the people he believes will take them to the level he wants to get. In my opinion, he has to hit the draft picks. He's always going to have veterans, but the other key nobody's really talking about yet is the Raiders are going to have about 70 to 75 million in salary cap available. John Gruden's going to have to do a good job with that money, finding the 25 to 27-year-old players, guys in their prime, who want to come and be Raiders, whether it be in Oakland next year or then in Vegas in the future. That's going to be the key here. How does he spend that available cap money? I mean, the picks are what they are. He's going to have to hit it out of the park with these first-round and second-round picks. The veterans are who they are. He'll always have veterans on his team because Gruden likes veterans, and he thinks he does a lot. They do a lot for the locker room. But who will be these future free agents that he tries to convince that his way is the right way and that they can come to Oakland, Las Vegas, wherever they might be playing next year and make a difference? Those are all important things to watch for as we go forward. But this week yet brought another move from the Raiders to ship Amari Cooper to Dallas for the first-round pick. There have been stories about Derek Carr not losing the locker room because perhaps there was a Pro Football Weekly report that maybe he was crying after getting hurt in London. I was in London. I didn't see him crying. I'd be surprised if he was really crying. But again, perception is reality in a locker room, and it just takes one person to kind of spread that rumor around. It all says this: things right now are not good for the Raiders on a daily basis. This is what happens when you're 1-5. This is what happens when you lose. Stories like this pop up on a daily basis. And it's going to pop up now on a daily basis probably for the rest of this year because it doesn't appear that they're going to be competitive. Marshawn Lynch, now on the IR, probably played his last game for the Raiders and probably in the NFL. So you have people like Doug Martin, Jalen Richard. They have to now step up at running back. They just don't have the offensive weapons now to make you believe they can win many more games this year. But I think Gruden knows that, and I think Gruden is building for the future. And this is his way, getting rid of guys that he doesn't think should be part of that, in terms of Cooper and maybe Joseph and Mack and what he has to pay people. This is John Gruden's way to look towards the future next year and then to Las Vegas. Again, follow Michael Gelkin. Follow all of our reports here at Vegas Nation. We'll keep you up to date as well as we can. Gilbert Manzano does a great job. We're going to stay on top of this. But for now, another day, another Raiders trade, and this is where they are as a franchise moving forward in 2018.